Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. This is a Chicago Kingdom of Glass and Cogs scene. If you're not at least 18 years old, stop fucking watching and go to bed or do your homework. We will be opening the scene as it is now sunrise. Vinny is doing his daily deed of helping with the socializing therapy of Mockingbird.
Good morning, Mockingbird.
She repeats in his voice, "Good morning." She has also spat what looks like squirrel bones out through the food slot at him.
Why, thank you for the gift. He just kind of sets them aside.
Ruth, walking by, mutters, "She keeps getting small animals. We're not sure how."
I'm curious, how do you keep luring these small animals in? He leans closer.
He sees her fingers slowly coming through the food slot, one finger to each eyeball.
He doesn't get that close.
As soon as her hand is outside the food slot, she drops a pile of mixed nuts and then pulls her hand back in.
He chuckles. That's actually very, very smart.
Mockingbird repeats in Ruth's voice this time, "Well, I am very smart."
But you are. Say, Mockingbird, what are some other things that you like to do?
He can see her head tilt some through the slot. "What are things to do?"
Well, you like to cut things into shapes.
She looks very confused at him.
He slides some more paper into her little slot.
She's not even looking at the paper as she tears it up.
He kind of watches her like outside while she like tears it up without even looking at her,
It,
without even looking at it.
it's literally like a secondary nature kind of tick for her to just tear up shit that's handed to her.
Do you like cutting things?
I do not like.
What are things that you like?
She looks at him very confused again. I do not like.
Well, maybe we could find some things that you could like.
In Ruth's voice, because she's heard Ruth say this quite a few times, "A waste of time."
He chuckles soft. That does sound like something Ruth would say, doesn't it?
In Ruth's, in not Ruth, Weston's voice now, it's saying something about lithium and giving it to one of the nurses to calm her.
He just laughs a little bit. He's kind of leaning at the wall and like just kind of talking with her.
As they're talking, Nebula is probably doing her rounds.
Yep.
She's got like 4 children trailing around the hospital behind her.
Uh, Vinny kind of like is just kind of pushing like metal toys in there with her to see if she likes playing, if she starts playing with things that she can't cut.
She doesn't. She can't cut it like she would paper, but she easily rips it apart and just or smashes it.
Mm-hmm.
Nebby is handing out hard candies.
Yep.
To the kid.
Mary, Henry, Frank, and one of the other girls who doesn't really talk and you don't know her name are the ones following you. Mary will look over at Vinny. You should see her bite through a fire poker, is all she says.
Vinny just kind of looks at her and goes, "Well, give me a fire poker."
Okay. Runs off, gets the fire poker with a cupcake on the end like last time, and hands it to him.
He like slinks in the fire poker and like with the cupcake.
It is a horrible glass grinding sound you hear. Like this high pitched screeching one.
Yeah, Nebby's gonna kind of wince at the sound.
And when she's done, it's like jagged saw pattern on where the end of it was.
He blinks and he just kind of gasps like, "Wow."
She is the ultimate garbage disposal, Mary says. Anything I don't want found by Weston or other sources of punishment goes to Mockingbird.
Nebby's going to kind of give her a side eye.
She just kind of shrugs at Nebula. I'm a queen. I do what I want, is all Mary says.
So Vinny tries to think of something to do to like to get Mockingbird to like talk. And so he just kind of like leans up against a wall and he tries to think. And so he just starts softly singing. Somewhere
Oh, God damn it.
over the rainbow.
I'm now deducting XP points from the chart I have set up for Vinny's player. Congratulations.
Way up high. There's a land that I dreamt of once in a lullaby. And I'll leave it like that.
Nebula has seen her head do the owl turn again while she chews on the metal and the cupcake. She is extremely confused by music.
Yeah, that's kind of heartbreaking. Like literally, she's just gonna kind of. Now, granted, I've never heard this song before, but yikes!
Vinny decides in the back of his mind to sing to her each morning now. Would you like me to sing for you each morning?
She repeats the same line of "I don't like."
Well, you could learn to like some things. If you say you don't like anything, then you just sound like a child.
Well, fairness, I think that's what she is.
She's a young adult.
I mean, Weston's tried. She literally has no hobbies. You try to get her to do something besides tear things up. She just stares at it or the wall, is what Mary says in the conversation.
Maybe we can convince her to dance or to run around her room.
I one time put a cat in her room. That got her to run until the cat couldn't outrun her anymore.
He grimaces at that. Let's not send in live animals.
Yeah.
Perhaps toys that move.
I don't. She like looks at Henry, who looks extremely upset. I had a car that moved once. It made little beeping sounds. It was destroyed by the garbage disposal of a mockingbird.
I'm just gonna like hug him. And make a mental note that now I need to get a car that beeps.
On a side note, I learned don't use my hands to give her things that day.
She's checking his hands.
Like, he has a couple little scars, but other than that, he's fine. Mary showed me how to use the big tong-like things or the fire poker to give her stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think she meant to hurt me, though, because it was just the tips of her hands.
Sometimes it's really difficult to not hurt somebody.
Yeah. That's what Frank said. He said that that's why he forgives his... What was that word you used? Frank's like, I don't want to talk about it with them. Which Mary's rolling her eyes now, muttering, keep her lover.
Nebby's just gonna put her head in her hand.
Hashtag, our players that play Vincent and Nebula, dear viewers, have some of the most difficult jobs in the city.
Oh, that's true. You know what Vinny starts doing? He just has another idea. He starts making paper airplanes. He starts tossing them into her little slot and making them fly.
You will notice, almost like a cat, her eyes are following them, and then she starts swiping them out of the air.
He just starts doing this. Like he's trying to come up with better ways to like get her excited.
It doesn't even look like excitement. It looks almost like reaction.
It's something. So he just keeps doing it.
Will you show me how to make one of those?
Mary looks at her. You don't know how to make a plane?
No.
Here. He carefully shows her how to fold the paper airplane.
Well, this is simple.
It is, and it flies.
You should see me make a dragon or a swan, Mary says.
You can make a dragon out of paper?
You can make many things out of paper.
It's just the shape. Unless Frank puts a contract on it.
Yeah, she's just gonna make like literally it's almost like there's she's doing like 2 and 3 at once because granted the ones that she's
How
making
close is she to Vincent now?
Who is?
Nebula.
She's fairly close.
I'm checking something on my... Oh, okay. That was a 4 successes. Nice. Nebula barely fills it. All she sees, though, is some of her hair leaving her head and going into the room with Mockingbird.
Oh my god! Vinny pulls her away.
Like, she had enough space, she could have actually gone for Nebula's throat, but she didn't. She went for the hair.
well, that's
Actually,
first.
Vinny like raises a brow, and he kind of like scoots closer, and he like mentions, "Do you like hair?
No.
Why
She's
did you
been
take
howling
Nebula?"
deeply as she holds it to her nose, and she's staring at Nebula. It's almost a predatorial gaze.
Yeah, she's taking a step back.
Barry says, she's just trying to intimidate you.
Did you not like how close she was to me?
No.
Then what was it?
Tilts her head. Starts reaching for some of Vinny's hair.
He plucks some out of his head and just sets it down.
Mary inhales deeply and realizes, you guys realize she's learning your sense, right?
Of course.
I'll make sure you get nice grave plots. Somewhere near the flowers.
Even if she does inhale my, even if she does learn my scent, I know how to defend myself to a certain degree. And he takes a deep breath. Honestly, I want to find some way to help her. I want her to be able to realize who she was before. He kind of like looks to the door again and says,
If
"Do
she
you
had...
remember?
Go ahead.
Do you remember anything?"
She tilts her head again, with her chin facing all the way to the ceiling. Mary's like, it would probably be easier if we could get our fingerprints, but it's kind of dangerous to get to those talons.
And I doubt she would form hands willingly.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think she'd let anyone close without her iron suit anyway.
Nope.
Why do you not like people?
She says in Tiny's voice, people are food.
Then what isn't food?
Me.
Why would you say you're not food as well?
She starts putting her own hand in her mouth and chewing on it. Tastes gross. And as she says it, like little chunks of glass fall out of her mouth.
To you, perhaps. Some people think humans taste gross.
She sticks her talons out like very carefully to Mary. Try it. Mary's like, ah, and like chews on one talon. Tastes gross. Come closer. Mary's like, nope. She's like, I know to stay 2 inches from most of those talons. I only let one at a time come within range of this pretty face. That was,
You know, Mockingbird, one thing I noticed is that when I sang, you didn't copy me when I sang.
she says in your voice, what is sang?
Singing is when he thinks of a good way to describe singing.
It was what he was doing.
In Mary's voice, that wasn't a mating call?
He rolls
No.
his eyes.
No, it wasn't.
Sounded like gibberish.
Which is why it wasn't a mating call.
Things only make those noises to mate. She says, shaking her head.
No, things make those noises to relax, to calm themselves down, and sometimes to pass the day by. Sometimes people sing whenever they're cooking, sometimes people sing when they're cleaning.
What is cooking?
Cooking is a way to prepare food so that it tastes better.
Food tastes fine. Motioning at Mary this time.
Well, yes, food can taste fine or it can taste amazing.
Taste is not important.
Why isn't it important?
You only need it to keep you. She's trying to think of the word. Sated till the next hunt.
But why not enjoy what's sating you?
No need. A waste of time.
But isn't it a waste of time just to sit and wait for your next hunt?
You don't need to sit and wait.
I mean, aren't you biding your time right now until you
No,
can get Nebula and I?
no. You're just prey waiting for me to be hungry again. Hashtag, dear viewers, Nebula loves her job.
Yes. Yes, I do.
She, by this point, looks even less human to you now, Vinny. She now matches the picture I have up. She's not trying to mimic you guys horribly anymore.
So you don't want, you don't need, you don't feel, you just hunt.
Yes.
Why?
To survive. That's all there is what she states.
But what's the point of survival?
To serve,
Who?
it entertains.
Who do you have
But,
to entertain?
Those who watch.
but why do you want them to be entertained if it's pointless?
Not so much a want. It keeps them busy, distracted, and then someday I'll be strong enough to hunt them too. They will be the most delicious of prey. Mary is cringing a little bit at this point and has ushered the younger children to go play.
Wouldn't it be more distracting if you seemed changed, if you seemed different? Then they feel as if you won or they won.
I can't be anything but me.
Then what are you?
Me.
What is me?
You have confounded the poor thing. It is sitting on its cell bed, its little torn up mattress now, looking extremely confused. Nebula, Vinny has broken one of the patients.
Oh, Lord. I have actually been meaning to do this. I am about ready to enact a contract for the first time.
Well, whoop-de-doo-dah, what contract are you enacting, you sweet little wizened?
I am going to attempt to read her lucidity at this point.
That's always fun, which means I need to open her character sheet. Damn it. I worked so hard not to need to open shit. There were just the one roll that I had memorized. Motherfuckers. Okay. Loose.
I gotta figure out what I'm rolling because I don't know what I'm doing. Like literally, I've never played this game before. I have no idea what I'm doing.
Tell me what the contract is. And if I can't tell you off the top of my head, I'll look it up, or Vinny's player will scream what it does at me.
Oh, I am so not doing this loophole.
What's the loophole?
What's the loophole?
The loophole is changeling touches the target skin to skin.
I mean, you could do it.
No!
You're not doing that.
I was going to say, there's plenty of ways. Like, she just let Mary touch her. Granted, Mary had to tell her it tastes bad and chew on her finger. So, and I'm guessing you meant clarity when you said lucidity.
I am guessing so. It looks like it's a manipulation, empathy plus weird versus composure plus weird versus her composure plus weird.
Her composure is probably really low.
It's not super low, but it is a little low.
Manipulation, empathy plus weird, which means that I am rolling.
Wait, does she have the same composure as Vinny?
She has what's considered average composure.
Then I'm pretty sure she has the same composure as Vinny. Let me double check. No, Vinny has better composure. When we get experience, I need to give him presents because it's starting to not make sense.
There's two. Let's see, what was it? Manipulation plus composure. Oh, Lord.
Manipulation plus composure.
No. Yeah. It's yours, composure plus weird, and it's my manipulation, empathy, and weird.
Okay.
2. Empathy's 2, so that's 4. 6.
Her composure and weird. And that's it.
Let me double check. Let me pull up the book because that's literally what I've got on. I'm trying to read teeny tiny. Oh, Lord. Let's see. Read lucidity.
I'm wondering we went down to just one viewer, and now I'm sitting here wondering who the one viewer left is. It's probably Shayna.
It's in one of these dad blasted books.
We'll go with that roll for now for the weird and composure for mine.
Because it is like literally not. It is a contested roll. It's just I'm trying to read.
Like if I knew what the contract's name was, I could look it up more.
Read lucidity. Literally, that's
okay. The contract of lucidity?
I believe so. It's
how many dots in it do you have?
What?
Huh? It's a contract.
Yeah, you have dots in your contracts, though.
I think you're talking about first edition because we're doing second edition.
Yeah, hold on. That's what I think popped up. I was using Google because I didn't want to have to dig through my fucking books. Okay, yours would be weird and intelligent. You have to spend 1 glamour, and you have to touch
Right.
the skin.
So that's
And
actually a requirement, not a loophole.
yeah, the catch is you have to touch skin to skin,
Okay.
and
I
you
meant
have
Wait,
and you got to spend 1 glamour as you do it.
right.
I'm looking for contested role, and it doesn't. Okay, there it is.
I can pull up the book too. This is easier.
I've got it up, so it would be either I would just say what my clarity is and let you know, or I would do a contested roll, which honestly I probably won't roll because Mockingbird has no real reason to hide anything like that, especially with someone willingly touching her that she could potentially try to eat.
Alrighty.
So let's see how you do,
Okay,
dear.
let's figure out how in the world I'm going to get her to touch me without harming me. I have no flipping glue.
Well, while you do that, Vinny, you've noticed she has put y'all's hair where the ears were, and you can notice there's a new string of small objects where they are under the bed.
Her hunts.
Evidence of her victories.
So, Mockingbird. I say what is me because you are able to form into others and able to speak as others, but you don't have your own voice. How do you hope to be strong enough to fight against something when you don't have your own face?
No hope of strength. Fight dirty. Eat delicious giant things that watch. Show them I'm worthy of more than just hunting in the mud. And then I get better, bigger prey to hunt for their amusements.
But what do you do when there's nothing left to hunt?
No food, I die.
And that would be fine with you.
What else would there be?
Love, time, memories, family.
What is family?
Family is people that help one another to achieve things that you can't do on your own.
What is time or love?
Time is something that we're all lacking. Time is
If all lack it, why care about it?
because one day the time will end. Or you'll lose it.
I do not understand. She says that she is arranging the things, not even looking at you as she talks at this point.
Mockingbird. My life I shouldn't even exist. don't know where I came from, but I know it's somewhere where I lost time. And I know that time is important.
Not to me. If I lack it and did not notice, I do not need it.
But if you do not notice things in the wild, then those are the things that can hurt you.
You get hurt, you're too weak to survive. Then you don't matter. This is a boring discussion. She used Ruth's voice that time, by the way.
And there have been plenty of times where you've been hurt as well.
No.
Why do you say that?
I have no memory of ever being hurt.
And what memories do you have?
If memory is similar to the things of the past that play in your head, then hunting, reflecting, reforging.
Think deeper. There's more beyond that.
That is all I have, she says with a shrug.
If that's all you have, then you truly don't know yourself.
I know what I need to know.
And what makes you so certain that's all you need to know?
It's kept me alive. What else would I need?
But has it killed your prey yet?
Yes, all the important ones.
But the bigger and greater prey, they're
Haven't,
still there.
I haven't seen any yet, but I'm sure they exist somewhere.
What about the person who made you?
For the first time, he actually sees her smile. It's a very sickening smile, and she has like jagged pieces of glass for teeth. At least he thinks it's glass from his angle. And she goes, "He's gone. He was delicious."
You ate your keeper?
It was easy to do after another struck him and left him to die. Or she. I can never tell. Not that it would matter.
He raises a brow.
Nebi's actually going to try and stifle a grin.
Then why hunt us weak creatures when you can fight bigger and greater creatures as the keepers?
You weaklings are all I see around.
Well, that's because you've never been in the hedge.
The big thorny place?
Yes.
That's where I used to live.
And there are creatures beyond there.
The Iceman drug me back here, said was saving me.
He was.
He wishes.
No, he was. Because he brought you here so you could learn how to fight.
No need to learn to fight. Easier to wait than strike. Did you know you cry in your sleep? She says to Nebula. In Tiny's voice.
It wouldn't surprise me.
The little boy snores.
Yeah, her eyebrows cocking.
Mary looks confused and mutters, I think she got out of the hospital.
I think you're right. I think you are entirely right.
She's moved back towards the door now, but two long taloned hands around the bars of the food slot, leaned her eyes right up against it to stare at you and goes, Are we done?
I'll never give up on you. Because
Nothing.
you're my family.
I have no family.
You have me.
Nebula, are you still going to do Contract of Lucidity?
I am going to attempt it.
Okie dokie.
Given the fact that she has got her hands, I guess, around the
around the railings, like
around the railings.
It's like it's on prison doors almost on the food slot. It's so when they go to pass the food through, there's not enough space for their hands and the food to completely go through.
Right. I am going to attempt almost as if to show an act of kindness and give her a really gentle tap on the parts that are around that are holding onto the railings.
Okay. Do your roll. She's not going to contest roll against it. She doesn't know how.
Basically telling her, that she's got family whether she realizes it or not. Because family is the one that doesn't give up on you. And I actually did find the contract. It actually is manipulation plus empathy plus weird.
Okay.
I mean, unless
what I had was it was just intelligence and weird, but that could have been in a different version.
It looks. Is this the second? Yeah, no. The second edition. It looks like it is. Give me a second. 137, page 137. So manipulation plus empathy plus weird, which is going to be 2. I think it's 2, 2, and 2. Yeah. So that's 6.
Yeah, I have it up now. I know what I have to tell you if you get this.
Oh, I see it too.
Oh! It's 8, isn't it?
Yes, standard difficulty 8.
Yep. Nope. 636736.
Actually, hold on. I need to double check that. Versus my composure and tolerance. Her composure is a 2. I don't know where on here tolerance would be.
I have no idea what tolerance even is.
I'm gonna just say it's clarity for now. So what'd you actually get again?
636736.
You got 1 success then.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna give horse in the mouth.
You got enough to tell she's not walking the Twilight Road, but there's not a lot of humanity about her.
Huh. Alrighty. So
Now,
I
an
will go
exact
ahead.
systematic score answer is in the player private chat.
Oh.
My brother from another mother is watching us, and he doesn't need to know the stats. He's not part of the game.
So, can I just subtly like have Vinny like change his hand into like glass shards without like doing any rolls or anything?
You're just a straight up mirror skin, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you can do that.
So he like shifts his hands into just glass shards. We are kin. We are like family.
She snarls at him. We are nothing. And then she closes the food slot on her door.
Improvement.
He looks down.
That, first of all, is the most I've ever seen her talk to anyone. Secondly, that was scary as shit that she's been in your house.
Uh-huh. And I don't know how she's doing it.
I do.
Nebby's just gonna kind of look, and I'm just, oh god.
Mere skins can be anything.
And I mean, she hunts like those ambush hunters in the animal kingdom, so sneaking around probably is something she's good at.
Perhaps I should start sneaking into your house a little bit more often to increase your security.
Yeah, well, I already pretty much don't.
I could come over and protect you, Mary says.
I appreciate it.
I mean, she's tried to eat me once, and when she bit me, she screamed I tasted like horror and let me go. So it all works out.
She would probably bite into me and say that I taste like anxiety and depression. He grins.
You haven't had that pounded out of you yet?
He shakes his head. Where did you get that word from?
The books in Weston's room.
You need to quit reading his books. You can stick with yours.
He said I could read them. He just didn't expect me to get the ones out of his safe.
He just shakes his head.
It was interesting. A little weird. I think the weirdest one was the cowboy and the mountain man.
He blushes a bit and shakes his head even more.
Or the sultan and his concubine.
Okay, you need to quit reading those.
I'm an adult. I can read what I want, she says, crossing her arms. Then looks at her small body. I'm somewhat an adult.
Nebby's just shaking her head, and she's trying to choke back giggles.
You know, I don't know if I should say that you're too young to do anything, though, because I'm fairly certain you're... Never mind. He just looks over to Nebby and shakes his head.
She's just gonna shake her head back, like, yeah, no.
He feels autumn's crisp air around him for some reason.
Vinny or Nebby or both?
Both.
Oh, Lord.
And you can smell what smells like dry leaves and pumpkin.
Can I tell which direction it's coming from?
It's coming from Mary.
Oh, God.
Vinny turns to look to Mary.
Yeah, so is she.
No, go ahead. Finish your sentence and your thought process, Vincent. I'm 14. I can handle it.
You're probably my great aunt, I believe.
You should respect your elders then. Come along, we're having a tea party.
He shakes his head and follows.
Following behind him because it's like, oh, God.
My brother from another mother is like, I'm double over laughing. These guys are way too chill about a Fey Hannibal Lecter.
Probably tell your brother from another mother, probably because the two of us together are highly sadistic serial killers.
Oh
almost.
my God, they're serial killers. They're insane. Oh.
So, as y'all walk out of the hall, you hear the food slot open. Anyone who looks back will see her drop a couple dead rats outside the door, and cats come towards it. But this time she just closes the slot. The heads have been bitten off. The rest is left.
Of the rats?
Yes.
Oh.
At least she's not hunting just to hunt and stock up anymore, Mary mumbles.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
You know, at least she has hunts to hunt. It's not necessarily good or evil. There are plenty out there that are way worse. The look on his face is just like that look of like he's gonna kill some folks.
I'm sorry, it's just what, Steven?
The look on his face is he's just gonna kill, like, he's ready to kill people on that list. Because he was just saying that like she hunts just to hunt. It doesn't necessarily make it bad or good. There's some people out there that deserve way worse.
Nebby is just going to kind of have just a straight up emotionless, but there is a slight twitch that I think Vinny would pick up on.
Yep.
Apparently, you guys made him almost fall out of his wheelchair laughing.
Oh, we did?
Yeah.
What, with the whole thing of it's two serial killers? Why would we be afraid of Hannibal Lecter?
He's also ranting about child characters in my game.
Anyway.
Yeah.
We're following Mary.
Yeah, so y'all go to the cafeteria area. The other patients are running around outside playing and shenanigans. Ruth is sitting at her little counter, which is odd because you swear you just saw her chasing the children outside too.
It's not odd to Vinny. It would be odd if he saw her at the desk, then woke up with her right in his face, being like, "It's time for therapy."
Yeah, no, she's been around long enough. This is not odd at all. It's just, oh, okay.
That's Ruth for you.
Mary sets up a place for you all to sit with tea with her. She's sat down. She still smells like dry leaves and pumpkin at the moment.
I love the smell of pumpkin that you leave off.
She smells, you should see me when I reveal my full mantle.
Do it.
Not when Weston's still in power. That would be a challenge.
Oh.
And I don't want to challenge him for rulership of the city yet.
Yet?
Oh dear, I'm going to rule everything someday.
Well, good thing I'm related to you then, correct?
Don't worry, I'll build you a harem full of Weston and other people.
He just face palms.
Nebby's gonna kind of give him a gentle nudge, like a friendly, like a bro nudge. I don't know what else to
Before you
call it.
ask, no one in the courts is going to forget. Is all she says to Vincent. Thanks to the local gossip of everyone, she says, motioning around the whole area and all the monarchs, I'm pretty sure every court knows.
He's instead of being laughing and joking and stuff, he slowly frowns.
Nebula, you can see something pink and frilly with a bird's mask. At least you think it's a mask, and then you realize it's not, as Louise leans down to Vincent's ear and goes, the queen is teasing you. And then
he sighs softly. Mary could tell he was really starting to actually worry because
that was the point. He looks at Louise looks at Mary and goes, stop harvesting from your friends.
Nebula's just going to look over at Louis and give a friendly smile.
He's in his normal clothes, but someone has, most likely Mary, put a pink apron over his normal clothes.
She will smile and kind of sigh.
Which after he puts plates down in front of you guys, he immediately goes back to his normal position of hunching behind Mary.
he smiles softly and just kind of sips the tea slowly.
The books were wonderful.
she'll take them out and put them back.
She'll take them and set them aside, and she'll be like, "I'll have to give these to Tiny later."
Yeah. He's trying really hard.
Yes, I heard he was having a extreme situation.
It's been rough.
See, this is why I don't have to deal with these matters. If something gets too grotesque, I just send Louise to deal with it. He cleans everything up in one swift chop and a couple of garbage bags.
Nebby's actually grinning at that.
He's shaking his head and muttering, "It's not normally violence needed." So, Vincent, are you going to go for a role as a royal knight? I mean, Weston doesn't have any knights.
You mean I could be his first knight? He raises a brow.
Yes. But only if I get to plan the wedding.
He shakes his head again.
She's I mean, it's
To be fair, Lorraine's the one who used that joke first. I just stole it to see if it worked the same as with me.
What happened? How did she use it with you?
She said she was going to plan you and Weston a beautiful spring wedding that was going to be so lovely you both would convert to their court.
Her brows furrow at this.
How did Lorraine find out? Oh, well.
I mean, her and Weston have a weekly outing, so I'm sure Weston's told her more than he tells any of us here in the hospital. Because doctor-patient differences. No, Mary, I can't tell you things because you used to be my patient. It doesn't matter that we're both monarchs now.
So he talks to me to others? About me to others?
Others outside the hospital that he considers friends? Yes.
He blushes a bit.
I mean, to be fair, at first he talked about all of you. But she looks at Vinny. You're in trouble still.
Why am I in trouble?
Ruth told me about your situation with alcohol.
He keeps giving me alcohol.
You are an adult. You can control yourself. Show some decorum.
I'm not very good with alcohol.
As soon as I'm in power, I'm making a ban. No alcohol for my family.
Wouldn't that just be me and you?
Probably.
He nods.
So, you think there's going to be wedding bells?
What?
What? I didn't hear you cut out there.
Do you think that there are going to be wedding bells? That's to Vinny.
I think there's going to be wedding bells, but they won't be between Vinny and Weston. At least not yet.
So,
Oh.
what?
I'm pretty sure Tiny and Nebula are going to get married someday.
Oh, that I can see.
Nebby is just going to turn like 8 shades of red. put her head in her hand and just like shake her head.
They would make the cutest couple, don't you think?
Oh, they're so adorable. Tiny is so nice and big, and Nebula's so smart, and she's got those tentacles.
And she's always complimenting him and caring for him.
Yes, because I was there.
And they share experiences together. It's like they spent their entire life together.
Common backgrounds are always a great way to get married, aren't they?
They are.
You notice her knight has put his beaked face in his hands and is just shaking his head back and forth like, don't encourage her.
But you forget he's enjoying this too, and they're family.
Oh, I mean, if Nebula doesn't snatch him up, then she's gonna lose out to the Summer Queen. I mean, he works for her now.
Right? I'm
He
pretty sure
also
Greta
looks
will.
at the ground she walks on.
I mean, Greta can't help that the ogre is.
He keeps giving her sweets. He pays her tribute. I mean, he doesn't even like sweets, really. He just keeps handing them to
And
her.
you know that about him. 2 and 2 would be perfect.
I mean, unless maybe she's secretly in love with the Angelo of spring.
He gasps and puts a hand over his mouth.
Are you one of those kind of women who like to be treated like trash?
Absolutely not. No.
Maybe she's in love with Margaret or Anne or, well, I'd say Lorraine, but
You better not be in love with Weston. His eyes narrow.
No.
I mean,
no, that's all you. That's all you, Vinny.
Mary is grinning evilly as she runs her finger along her cup. She goes, I mean, to be fair, who isn't in love with Weston?
He looks over to Mary.
If I was a few years older, I would try to court him.
He's just staring at her.
Yeah, Louise's hand has come around the chair and just slowly put it over her mouth and gone, and that's a line not to cross, Your Majesty. Which Weston has literally walked by, noticed the conversation, and instead of joining you, kept walking. Which she has pulled Louise's hand off her mouth and gone, aw, we scared the Winter King away. Shame on you, Vinny.
He pouts slightly.
Oh God, my brother's talking about joining us now.
Oh, fun.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Mary gets up and she's like, I think I'll just go to the powder room for a moment and calm my etiquette and jokes. Louise, I leave them in your hands. As soon as she's gone, he's ripping the apron off.
I thought you might have liked pink. He grins.
He raises a finger to Vincent, picks up Mary's cup and drinks out of it, sits it down, and goes, I don't mind the color pink. I don't like aprons. That's why she put one on me. But I can't tell her no, she's my queen.
Completely and totally out of character. I'm almost wondering why on earth Mary has not made mention of the tussie that I've left for him.
She's not commenting.
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. Why is she not? She's poking at everybody else.
Vinny will notice he has thrown himself into Mary's chair also and is lounging with it with like one leg up over one of the armrests and like one of his arms across the back of it.
You certainly made yourself comfortable, didn't you?
I might as well, since I have to talk to you people face to face. I hate talking face to face.
How do you prefer to communicate?
Miss Nebula, I don't think that's a polite conversation for polite society.
Oh, very well.
Is it a closed door conversation between you and Nebula? He raises a brow.
I don't think Nebula would like me like that.
She's just gonna kind of side eye, like, what?
Why would
Mary's back now, and she goes, I would tell you guys what my knight is into. I've discovered based on his journals that he burned, but he made me vow never to speak of it. It's not appropriate for my age.
I'm just trying to find out how to communicate with him so that he feels more comfortable.
She looks at Louise. Be nice. Which she just shrugs and gets out of her chair. Louise is, Louise, he's just shy. He's a nice, dapper gentleman. And he just kind of chokes on air behind her as she says this.
Gentleman, I see.
You see what? What's wrong with Louise?
Oh, nothing.
The look she's giving Vinny, like, say it, I dare you.
Nebby is like, all of a sudden, shit got cold in here. Like, literally, that's... It's a little bit nipply.
Vinny just kind of smirks.
Like, you have room to judge anyone, is all she says.
Oh, I'm a judgy bitch. It's just who I am.
Yeah, you even judge people in your sleep.
I mean, yes. Isn't that quite obvious? The instant I came into town, the first person I met was, well, Angelo, and why couldn't I judge him? I mean...
Oh, I'm sure that went well for you. We all know how that goes when Angelo meets someone pretty and new.
Yes, I wanted to poison his drink.
Oh my.
You know, at some points I think I would fit well under your clothes. Sometimes. Like the times whenever I want to poison someone's drink and watch them scream in agony while they're fighting for the antidote that I have in my hand.
And
that's just in my imagination.
And people say me causing fear and feasting upon it is horrible. Jesus.
Nebby's just like, I cannot believe you just said that.
Louise has moved Mary's whole chair closer away from Vinny to Nebula at this point.
It's not like she's upset with Vinny that he did this or that he thinks about this. It's more that he said this.
Like, Ruth has got up, come from across the room, and poured a cap of her flask into the tea of Vinny's cup, going, "You need to relax," and walking back to her desk.
He sips the tea.
Hold on a moment.
And just like exhales.
Nebula just kind of, like pat his hand like it'll be okay. Did you mean to mute yourself?
Yes,
yes,
I did.
The dogs were barking. Sorry.
Yeah, no, Vinny also muted himself, so
Sorry. He's just kind of like, I'm sorry. It's just whenever I speak of that man, I get very angry.
patience. Patience.
I plan to let Louise take his head and add it to the collection.
Can I hear you say off with his head?
She gets up cheerfully and at the top of her lungs yells off with his head.
He just smiles and relaxes as he sips the tea. There's our Queen of Hearts.
Hear ye, hear ye. May we all eat tarts.
He raises the glass up in the air.
And she will as well.
Stop trying to be sneaky and just talk in the group chat on Facebook.
What?
Oh.
He's thinking about making a bootlegging gangster for the game.
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he was talking about trying to be sneaky and be sneaking around, but yeah.
Why be sneaky?
I mean, Vinny's pretty sneaky.
He was talking OC sneaky. But anyway, so she sits back down. Nebula, you will notice Louise, despite him being very small and scrawny looking, did not scoot her chair. He literally picked the chair up with her in it and carried it over to sit beside you. Vinny, you noticed it too.
Vinny takes note of that.
She'll look up and it's not that she's surprised that he's that strong. It's just, there's a look of appreciation on her face as she looks up at, because somewhere in the back of her head, she's like, please God, don't let me have insulted the man. Vinny, not fear, but more like she wants, not because she's afraid, but because she's kind of wanting to befriend him.
Befriend him. But yeah.
Vinny is just sipping his drink, and then he's like, and like, the idea of watching somebody in agony is just, it's not like I would actually do it or anything.
Mary raises an eyebrow at Vincent. She goes, that wasn't your work at the party?
He just smirks slightly and just looks to the side. I don't know what you're talking about. I was seen nowhere near that place.
Nebby's keeping her mouth shut.
On a side note, serious note, Josie has been spotted recently at the Goblin Market.
And she's okay?
She seemed okay, but when people tried to approach her, she literally ran off and said no. She literally yelled no at them and then ran away. I'm not too sure exactly what's going on with her, but if she's spotted again, we'll try to get you in contact first before any of us approach her again.
Yeah. Should I go in?
Go back to the Goblin Market? I mean, it's not as dangerous as going into the other side, but I wouldn't go alone. It's still not completely safe.
I mean,
she's remembering being sniffed, and she's just like, yeah, I'm not going there alone.
I will definitely go there with her. Besides, I have things that I need to look for there.
I was going to say, you could always talk to the Goblin Queen.
I don't believe I've had the honor of her acquaintance.
I don't like her. She's insane, but it's probably easier to ask her than just run around her area.
Nebby will nod. Oh. Completely and totally out of character. Me and you, Vinny, are going to have to sit down and have a talk.
Oh, he knows nothing that's going from this room.
You do, she doesn't.
Vinny just kind of looks to Nebby. Does Nebby look worried or anything?
No, she's literally just got a blank look on her face because she's trying to not show him any kind of emotion. I mean, she's not like puking or anything. She's not like turning green. This has nothing to do with, anyone punching her or, it has nothing to do with the masters, nothing to do with the keepers. It's literally, it's kind of one of those things of, well, whatever happens, it was worth it kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nebby, do you want a drink? He like holds the drink that has whiskey in it now to her.
Oh, it's rum. It's rum today that she poured in there.
Oh, it's the good shit. She'll take a sip.
You need to relax as well.
You're probably right.
He nods. Besides, we're here with family, and if anything, between the court of shadows and the courts of secrets, everything is safe here.
Mary's looking between the two of them and just whispers, "Now kiss."
He chuckles.
On a serious note, though, I've informed you of what I need to inform you of. I need to go arrange courtly proceedings and be a responsible queen for a couple hours. I'll see you later.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. She'll pat Vinny on the head before she leaves.
Make sure to have fun. He does a finger wave towards her.
And she will take her leave.
Are we alone now?
Yeah, y'all. Ruth is the only one in the room, but y'all have the table to yourself.
Oh. Oh my.
There's a lot we need to look at.
Uh-huh.
He takes another long sip of his drink, and he sets it down.
You up for a walk?
He chews his lips softly, and he'll nod.
Alrighty.
Lead the way.
She'll go up to Ruth. Is it okay if I make my time up at dinner?
She smiles. Long as you're willing to do bath time with all the patients, yes.
She will nod. and we'll head out, and we're basically heading over to my apartment.
Oh, joy.
Oh, yeah.
So you go into your apartment, and the first thing you see is bottles of empty root beer scattered everywhere. And
Billy.
you hear faint crying from the living room area.
Billy,
Hiccups. Go away! I'm not worth it!
Billy.
Billy,
I gave that broad everything!
what happened?
um, she, she, she said I was too young.
Oh, having girl problems.
I saved up. I bought her a diamond necklace and she wouldn't even take it. She told me I was too young to give girls stuff like that and I was too young for her. And you get to the living room and your couch is completely covered in soda bottles and candy bar wrappers.
Like I am taking and just with one swoop of a tentacle, just and I plop down, put his head on my lap, and just start, petting his head.
Why won't Lorraine love me? Why? I've spent every paycheck on her.
Vinny goes over and rubs his back and says, because you're too good for her.
She said it was just because I was a kid. Why won't she love me?
Vinny looks over at her like, don't say it. Like the look that he gives her is that one of icy coldness.
Yep, and she is just silencing the rest of that.
Because the thing is, he knows how Billy is, and Billy, while he's a sweetheart, he likes to talk, and
yeah. Well, no, literally, the only thing that she was going to say was, she does.
His hands have come up and grabbed the front of Vincent's shirt, and he's looking up at him with snot and tears. He's like, "Am I ugly?
You're beautiful. Oh my god.
Fourth girl from my court to deny me. First it was Margaret, then it was Anne, now it's Lorraine, then I couldn't even get Rose to go to the movies with me."
Well, Rose can't really leave the hospital.
Do you think we can get one of those projector things?
No, I mean, when I asked, Rose laughed in my face and walked off laughing, saying, "Gee, you're so funny, Billy." I'm hideous, he says, and throws himself back over, reaching for another root beer.
And Nebby's just going to kind of plug the root beer.
Oh, see, note, my players and our viewers probably know what soda had in it in the 1920s.
Uh-huh. I'm taking and plugging the root beer out. Billy, darling, you're not really thinking clearly. You are not hideous.
What? Am I just going out of my league, like Lorraine said? Do I just need to go younger?
Maybe you need to flirt with Mary. He smirks slightly.
He makes a disgusted face.
Hey.
She's like a sister to me, man. And she's too old. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. She's a year younger than Lorraine.
Come
Vinny
on.
looks to the side.
Let's go wash your face. Things will look better in the morning.
Will they? Will they?
You need to get all of this out of your system, and we can talk about this in the morning. You're probably going to have a stomach ache.
I should be okay. I only drink, like... He looks around the room. Never mind. I drink more than I thought.
Uh-huh. And you're not able to think clearly right now.
No. I also... I don't feel good.
She'll pick him up, take him to bed, grab a washcloth, wet it down.
While she does that, what's Vinny doing?
Vinny is just kind of like... He's just kind of cleaning up, like...
You will notice then that, there's a bunch of normal soda bottles, and then there's a very small, looks almost like a mason jar from your timeline, the little mini ones.
Oh, God.
That's empty, but it's small. It's like the size of one of those little candles almost.
He slowly opens it and takes a whiff.
It smells delicious. Like apples almost.
Oh, God, he's been drinking apple pie. Oh, God.
He just screws it back in and he just takes that bottle to the sink, sets it there, and starts throwing away all the bottles that she just kind of swooped all those to the side.
I had to have a place to sit. Yeah, she's washing his face. She's tucking him in. It's...
Now, what makes you think that you need a woman anyways?
She was just so pretty.
Well, yeah, but maybe you need to see about what's awesome about you first. Because ain't nobody gonna appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself.
And you are pretty amazing.
He just climbs into his bed and pulls the blankets over his head, muttering.
She'll tousle his hair, give him a kiss on the forehead, and, like, pull the door to. And start helping Vinny pick up the bottles.
Is Vinny going to show the jar to her?
Oh yeah, he'll show her the jar.
She'll take a whiff.
It smells like apples. Now, if your character knows what moonshine is, cool. If not, oh well.
Nope, I have no clue. I know what moonshine is. She doesn't.
Vinny does.
He's drinking apple juice.
No.
Apple juice did this to him?
No. That's alcohol. It's called moonshine. He's drunk.
Oh, God. All right. All right. She'll get a bucket and a glass of water. Take it into him. I want you to drink this. All of it.
He's still like dry crying as he tries to drink it.
I can't have you getting dehydrated. Because you're going to really regret this in the morning if you do get dehydrated. And whenever he's finished with the glass, she'll take it back out. Oh.
Yeah, like at this point, there's a knock on the door.
Vinny goes, answers the door while she's taking care of him.
It's a very uncomfortable looking Lorraine.
Hey, Lorraine.
She is handing a small black box to Vincent.
He takes it.
I told him I could not accept it, and he still tried to sneak it into my room to get to me.
He sighs. That must have been after he was drinking, and I am sorry.
It's all good. I care about him. He's a great kid. He's just way too young for me.
I get that, and I did not tell him how old you are. It's just...
I don't mind if he knows my real age. He's one of the few people I would trust with it, but I don't want him this upset, and he needs, if he's interested in someone, he needs someone closer to his age.
Yes. Yes, he does.
Now, I have a room full of men at the music hall waiting for me to get on stage and perform. I will see you two later. That's a $50 necklace, by the way. That's like 6 weeks of groceries. You might want to talk to him about that. She says as she walks off.
He sighs and takes the necklace.
Oh.
Hashtag Nebula's brother is whipped.
Yes. Whew.
Vinny goes into the room and holds out the black box. Billy.
She'll take it and put it on, like, the dresser.
Billy, I want to tell you something. When someone tells you no, that they don't want something, you need to respect that.
But Angelo always said money and jewels are what girls like most.
Well, you need to not be like Angelo. Angelo is an asshole.
Billy looks to his sister.
She's gonna basically give him this look like, no, he's right.
But I mean, he's gotten so many women who act like they love him.
He forces them to.
Oh.
Let me see if I can explain something about our king. Let me preface this by asking a question. You genuinely care for Lorraine, right?
Well, yeah, she's nice to me, and she's pretty, and she taught me to ride a bike a couple of years ago.
Our king believes that love is a lie.
That makes no sense. He's the king of spring.
That's what I thought. You don't need to be taking advice on love from someone who believes it's a lie.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, well, whenever you get your head cleared, we'll talk about it in the morning, okay?
He gestures to Nebula to walk out with him.
Closing the door and following.
He is now picking up ideas from Angelo and doing things.
Vincent.
No, I know. I just.
The sooner that man is unthroned and someone with some sense takes over this court, the better. He needs to come out of the hedge so that someone can challenge him. At this particular point, I don't care who.
I could bait him.
You'd have to find him first.
That wouldn't be hard. I mean, the way to find him would just be follow where the goblins say. I mean, they just all would be pointing in his direction.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not hiding or anything. He's just staying over in the hedge in the goblin market.
And I do believe he is actually hiding in the market itself.
He's not even hiding. He's there in plain sight.
Hashtag out of character. He's there fornicating, drinking, and being a complete bastard.
Why am I not surprised?
We saw him like in that last scene where he was just in that.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was my understanding that nobody could, knew that he just disappeared from there.
No, he's still doing
No,
that.
what he does is he just dodges around. If it's someone he doesn't care to see at the moment, he will avoid them.
Vinny can easily find him because he's always doesn't mind Vinny's company.
Yeah, because he's a pretty boy.
I mean, yeah.
Crap. Out of character. I don't know that. I don't know that Mom told you that. Be very careful. If you bait him, I don't know what he's capable of.
I mean, I do.
He was a master.
He isn't afraid to fuck someone to death.
Wait, what?
That's what your mother told me.
He actually fucked someone to death.
Yes, he did.
Oh. You have no intention of laying with him, do you?
No, of course not.
Sorry,
I would rather sleep with a bed of rusty nails. Fornicate with it.
God damn it.
I'm sorry, Danica.
Oh, my head. Ow, I have a headache now.
I'm sorry, Danica. Well, I mean, literally, We're supposed to amuse you as much as you're supposed to amuse us.
Oh, that mental image. That mental image, no. No, I don't need that mental image. Thank you, though. Like, I'm literally over here reading the side chat for comments, and then I hear that as I'm reading Say the Word and Molotov cocktails come sailing through the Kingies' windows.
Oh my god.
So,
God fucking damn it. Okay. Oof, I'm good. Back to game.
oh, oh. So you have no intention of doing anything stupid?
Do I really even do anything stupid? Well, there was the one time I got my mirror, but
No, no, no. You go to bait him. I'm not exactly sure I can repeat what happened before. He wasn't on my table. Ever. I'm not entirely sure I can.
no, all I plan to do is bait him so he can come back into his kingdom. From there, just things will play its course.
You know he's not going to be happy with me.
Of course not. But there's nothing he can do about that.
I made absolutely sure that that was off the table. Quite frankly, I don't know which is worse.
Honestly, I think we need to focus on the situation at hand with Angelo, and then we can go back to the list.
Yeah. Because that list needs to be taken care of.
And while I'm at it, I need to find my memories.
Okay, one more time, Heather's hard of hearing, huh?
While I'm at it, I need to find my memories.
What can I do to help?
I'm not sure. I believe it would just be finding shards of glass within the hedge. They're probably in the goblin market. I mean, my frame was there.
It would make sense.
If I can complete that mirror, maybe I'll remember everything.
At least there's a way you can remember.
You will remember soon. I have to actively search for them and find them in locations. Yours is always there, it just needs to be recalled.
I believe that only because I choose to believe it.
He takes in a deep breath.
Yay, we are looking at Chicago.
Sorry, I was playing with settings. It was like, maybe I can make mine smaller and theirs bigger, and it didn't work.
Like, why are we looking at Chicago? Not that I'm complaining. I'm like, I don't know why we're looking at Chicago.
It's Chicago. It's where you're at. I don't have a picture for your apartment at the moment.
Yep.
And I mean, I have NPCs I could bring in, but none of them really know where you live. So they wouldn't really have a reason to show up at your apartment unless they were being creeps. And only one of them would be a little creepy, and that's because he's a Ferris and doesn't understand he's being creepy.
Angelo? No, just kidding.
No, Jebediah. Jebediah does have a habit of walking up on people and talking to them at the most inappropriate of times.
Do it.
Not in her apartment, no.
Yay. I mean, it almost feels like everybody else does. Poor little paranoid Debbie.
I suppose we still need to head back home and say hi to Snow White.
Oh.
Hey, she has become less annoying. Her voice is still very high-pitched, but less annoying.
I need to check on how she's doing. I've been staying over at the hospital a little bit more.
She does sing and dance a lot still, and she cooks a lot, and she won't stop cleaning your place.
With her singing and cleaning and everything, I guess I've started singing a little bit too. Oh, he pinches his brows.
Well, you seem to be in better spirits, at least.
He kind of scowls at her and his motions for her to follow.
And she will follow along.
He guides her over to the pier and everything, to the warehouse.
Oh, I don't have a picture for her, but I've described her to you all. You get there and you smell apple pie.
Really? Apple pie? Oh,
yeah.
You would think she would learn her lesson, and he just walks in.
You don't like apple pie?
She was tricked and poisoned with it.
The minute you come in, like little birds and small bunnies go out your windows.
I'm assuming some of them flutter around Vinny, and he's just like, ah.
No, they literally retreat. Vinny terrifies them because he's so cold.
Oh, okay, good.
They probably do me, though.
Yeah, one of them puts a ribbon in your hair as it leaves.
Vinny's like, shoo, get out.
She just kind of like feels the ribbon. Like, why?
Oh, welcome home, Vincent. I have made you new clothes. I've baked dinner. I've cleaned your room.
It's lovely to see you.
Of course. We're basically family, and family takes care of each other.
I've been saying this over to Mockingbird all day, but why do I feel like the tables are turned? He just like turns around and his head is against the wall.
She like starts to hum as she cuts you each a slice of pie. She's like,
he's just groaning.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Oh, Vincent, I also made you some coffee. I wasn't sure if you were a coffee or a tea person.
I take both, but I'll take coffee.
Miss Nebula?
Coffee for me, please.
How would you like it? Would you like it creamy and sweet or black and spicy?
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 My little friends say it's spicy. I don't think it is, though.
But
like, she offered you a cup. It smells like normal coffee.
Black is fine.
She'll sit out a couple cups of black coffee. She'll put milk and sugar on the table, and she'll set you places of. And there's normal food set on your plates, and then pie on a little plate beside it.
Vinny just eats slowly and everything, and he says, "Well, thank you. It is very delicious, honestly."
Oh, it's no problem at all. When Mr. Angelo stopped by, he said to do all of this for you. He also offered me a wonderfully paying job.
I thought I told you to not talk to Angelo.
Oh, but he said it wouldn't involve the music hall at all. Well, at least the adult private entertainment rooms.
He's pinching his brows. No, you need to really not talk with him.
I'm sorry. He stopped by with a package for you. I thought you were expecting it.
Vinny gets up, a package.
Nebby's gonna kind of squeeze his hand.
Yes, a little envelope, a package.
Where is this?
Oh, I put it in your room on the nightstand.
Vinny goes up.
You want me to come with?
I'll bring it down.
Do you just bring it straight down, or do you look at it first and then bring it down?
He looks at it first and then brings it down.
I'm going to PM you on Facebook what's in it.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This is bad. This is bad.
Oh. You can hear a growl from the top of the steps. Like, in his room.
I
Like,
think I made another mistake.
No, darling, you didn't make a mistake.
like,
Are you okay up there?
Vinny is just growling. Like, it sounds animalistic. Like, he's pissed.
Are you okay up there?
She doesn't get an answer.
I'm going up. Is
She
like
sees in his hand, he's holding two fingers, and one of them has Josie's ring on it.
As y'all call her, Snow White, Bianca has slowly followed behind Nebula.
He shoves the fingers into the envelope as quick as possible so she doesn't see.
You need to, darling, go back downstairs for me, will you?
Oh, okay.
All right, thank you. I'll be down in a moment. Like literally, my eyes are glued on Vincent. I'm not even like looking back.
She goes back downstairs.
He's grinding his teeth, and he just looks at her. And she sees something similar that, like, Mockingbird kind of had, because he has his teeth kind of sharpened a little bit like glass blades. He's so pissed off right now.
And our dear players, that's where we're going to be ending for the night, because we've been going 2 hours now.
Woo-hoo!
Thank you, viewers, for watching. Thank you, players, for playing. In our next scene, we might actually get some of the main combat done.